Ever get me wrong, I love Lil Wayne to death.
Yeah.
But you know, that's all they know.
Yeah.
So for them to go back and really understand all the different influential artists of hip hop that inspire these young kids, the young artists, you know what I'm saying? If you're not aware, I'm going to use a different name other than Big Daddy Kane and Raw Kim, but if you're not aware that Cypress Hill was a thing, if you're not aware that, you know what I'm saying, Grand Pumbaa, Big Pun, yeah. Big L, UGK, I'm so glad you said that. Big Crit, you know what I'm saying? That's another middle age. That's another middle age one.
Like in the middle.
Because Lil Pump and Smoke Perp, and I mean those are just some of the easy popular names to name. But that interview really showed they don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
That's their attitude. Accept it because it's not going to change. You know what I'm saying? They're not going to educate themselves because they have access to drugs. They have access to the internet. They have access to all these different things. So their whole ideology is, I don't give a fuck. I'm going to do what I want. I'm just going to live my life. I'm going to be free. I'm going to make this money. I'm going to be happy. Because all these older rappers, all these older people, they live miserable lives. Yeah, they may have money, but then they're looking, you know, for the next hire. They look for the next trick. Or they look for the next, you know, whatever it is. So seeing J. Cole talk to Pump just on a nice to meet you level, seeing that conversation happen was like, okay, he's starting to understand it. He's starting to understand how these kids think. He's starting to understand what these kids want to hear because he's listening to it now. He's in tune with it now, but it took him a second to figure it out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He was in a position to where when he was talking with Angie Martinez, he mentioned how he was unplugged from social media for a year.
Yeah.
And then he plugged back in like, oh, what's this and what's this? Or what's going on here? Or who's X and who's this? And so when you get a chance to listen to the younger music, you start to realize that it's not about lyrics. It's not about, you know what I'm saying, telling a story. It's about the vibe. It's about how it sounds, how it feels. And then you could get into the lyricism because it's there. You know, you can never take away, you know, the cleverness that these young rappers have. It's clever. It's just not as deep in depth as Slick Rick telling, you know, the bedtime stories. You know what I'm saying? So you'll never get that. But once you understand that it has a purpose and the purpose is that simple, then you can accept it and move on.
Yeah, because like, what's that artist name? Gunna.
I love Gunna.
He hard, bro. Gunna to me.
And that's another example of I had to learn how to understand that type of music. He
reminds me of the Waka Flocka era when Waka Flocka first came out with him and Slim Dunk. Like, R.I.P. to that nigga too, but
I thought he was Young Thug when I first heard him, to be honest with you. Gunna?
Who, Gunna?
Yeah.
Gunna to me,
he sounds just like
he sound like he sound like Thug, but I feel like the way his music is, he kind of remind me of a Waka Flocka, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, because even his most recent tape, Slime Season 3, he came, that song, OK, Thug is on it. And they share a verse. Did you know that? There's a video for it. Watch the video, and you'll see when Young Thug verse come on, he does 4 bars and drops off. Damn. They share a verse. And you don't even hear the switch because they sound just alike.
Yeah.
And like, but you know, and that's something that you wouldn't understand how to listen to it unless you got all this music before, and over time you figured it out.
Yeah. So speaking of artists, who were your top 5 artists?
I hate this question.
Of all time.
All time?
Yeah.
All right, so no particular order. Jay-Z, Biggie, Jadakiss, Method Man. I have to throw Eminem in there, and so hard. It's hard because I have my personal favorites and then I have what I know should be there.
So who's your personal?
That's a longer list.
just throw out names.
I mean, I love Kendrick Lamar. I have a real big place in my heart for Dom Kennedy's first couple of albums. J. Cole, Tupac, Lupe Fiasco, Kanye. I could get into Ludacris. No, Ludacris isn't there for me. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But DMX is a household name that I feel like he deserves recognition for. You know what I'm saying?
I feel like people didn't take him seriously after a while because of what he went through. But I'm like, bro, DMX, like DMX is in my top 10.
And then there was X. That album is classic.
Yes, and the Great Depression.
Oh my gosh, classic, classic, bro, classic. And then Busta Rhymes is another name that should be in there. Q-Tip is another name that should be in there. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, there's a lot of rappers who I hold in high regard, and I have a personal favoritism towards them, but I just know that I should finish my fifth person with like a Tupac or you know what I'm saying, someone like that. So.
But don't you think, like, I was hearing the other day, don't you think like it comes to a certain point, alright, Tupac, Biggie always been the people top fives for the longest. They are now like the Slick Ricks and the LL Cool J's and stuff, and Big Daddy Kane. They just in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Don't you think it comes to a point now, like Eminem, Jay-Z, you know, the Nas's, like the ones we grew up listening to, that's art that grew up in that era, but they generational artists. You think they just need to don't even be in the top five? Like you just.
No, because it's like no other genre of music has that separation.
Yeah.
You're not gonna put Mick Jagger and Paul McCartney in their own category and then tell, you know, the young rockers that, you know, they don't belong. You know what I'm saying? It's like that. It doesn't happen anywhere else. So for us we don't know what a real hip hop career is because it's still ongoing. Like Snoop Dogg has one of the Fuck Snoop Dogg. E40 has one of the largest catalogs I've ever seen from any artist. You know what I'm saying? I love Snoop. I don't mean to disrespect Snoop. I'm just saying, like, E40 has... I think he has a longer catalog, in my opinion. He has so many albums. I think as a
single... I know for a group, I know 3 6 Mafia is up there, like, for their catalog.
Like, albums?
Yeah, albums, yeah.
He has, I think, 20 at this point.
Yeah.
Studio, like, quality... Like, he released 4 albums at a time. You know, like Block Party, part 1, 2, 3, and 4, all came out at one time. You know what I'm saying? Like, those people, they just have a history of music for themselves that has survived in the midst of everything else.
Yeah.
And so it's like, it's not fair to separate them because they're still, you know, actively participating. You know what I mean? They're doing features for Neef DeFaro. You know, they're doing features for the young cats. So it's like, and it challenges those older artists to stay sharp because when the drums start to change and the patterns start to change. I listened to 2 Chainz. 2 Chainz did an interview with Breakfast Club, and he was talking about how, you know, he doesn't have the same effort on every feature because it's not like that on every track, on every record. You know, he'll do a pop record. He can't go super hard on a pop song. You know what I'm saying? But if he's on a track with Jeezy and J. Cole, then he gonna go hard on, you know, on the track with the big dogs. You know what I'm saying? So it depends on where you are. But I feel like it's kind of unfair to separate it because we always having fun. You know what I'm saying? We're always in the art. So I don't know. I feel like it shouldn't be separated. Just my opinion.
Yeah, man. Because I feel like name some artists that's underrated in your opinion. Like you just said, one of them, 2 Chainz. I feel like 2 Chainz. I could say like the Wiz Khalifa's in a way. I feel like Wiz Khalifa low key influenced at least half of these new artists.
I think it's tricky for me because Wiz has a certain market.
Yeah.
He has a niche. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to say that he is stoner rap, but he's known for being a stoner rapper. You know what I'm saying? And so there's a fine line between consistent and underrated, and then this is what they do.
Yeah.
Like Wiz talks about weed, raps hard. That's his thing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But 2 Chainz, he's versatile as hell.
Yeah.
And he's underrated, and I don't think he has a niche. I think he's just a wonderful artist.
Yeah. So speaking of you from Montreal, Canada is one of them spots as well. You know, Montreal, you know, Toronto, the whole like country. Y'all, you know, Canadians, you know, what I was gonna say, like, you know, you watch South Park. How like they make fun of the Canadian stuff or whatever, but you know, in music, y'all already, you know, taking over. Like y'all starting to take over in terms of. I feel like in maybe a couple more years, I feel like just Canada in general is going to come out with a lot of, you know, artists like this.
It's been ongoing. Canada's had a history of hip hop and R&B artists that have made a lot of waves in America. But music is music, so at the end of the day, it's like it's still being consumed as one thing. You just learn where someone's from. So like Cardinal Official, he's from Toronto. You know what I'm saying? And that's a huge name in Toronto historically. You know what I'm saying? Back in he ran with the Clips. He did the Grinding remix. People didn't really know who the hell he was, but then when you do the research, you see that he's a very talented artist, very well known artist in Canada. But then his name doesn't come up because it's not a popular name like Drake or Justin Bieber, or now you have Nav. Is Nav from Toronto? Nav is. I think he's from Toronto.
I heard Tory Lanez was from down here. Then he moved. To Canada.
Tory Lanez is Party Next Door is from Toronto. Weekend, and I mean, there's a bunch of artists from Canada now, but it's. I don't know. I feel like it's just that's just where they're from. It's not like it makes a huge difference because on the mainstream platform, it's like you got a number one hit record. You got a number one hit record. You know what I'm saying? That's just what it is.
Yeah. So like, from living down here in South Florida, just Florida in general, like in the States, like what's like the biggest difference between the two?
Culture. It's the cliche answer, but culture. Because people like to dance. And that's always going to be a commonality, no matter how, if you get to the most lyrical artists to, the most poppy entertaining artists, people like to dance. So I know even this song that Sierra just came out with, Level Up. You know where that's from. You know that's from down here. You know what I'm saying? And that's something that when that record starts to travel, and people trace back to where it's from, it's another South Florida thing. So the difference with here and everywhere else is we have a lot more cultures, dog. You know what I'm saying? Uncle Luke and the 2 Live Crew and all them boys. That sound of rap, man.
I feel like a lot of people appreciate it. Well, not. I want to say what I'm trying to say. They appreciate our sound, but they steal it. But they don't really let it be known.
It serves a purpose. It serves a purpose as entertainment. But it's not going to be renowned as like a source.
So that's just like one of the things that like as a Floridian, especially from Miami, like to be exact, like being a DJ, I start noticing that in other places they kind of use some of our stuff and they flip it. You know what I'm saying? But it's crazy, man. So before we end the show, where you see yourself 5-10 years from now?
On tour. I need to quit this job. I'm just joking. No, but I like right now I'm in this real transitional period in my life to where I finished college 3 years ago. I lost my mom in that process, and so now I'm just on my own. I'm just trying to make things work for me, and so money is the big thing. So I just need to make enough money to survive, and then I could apply the rest of the money that I get to making music, creating content, doing a promo, traveling, taking time off. And so that's really what I need to do, not what I want to do. What I need to do in my life, because I'm great at music according to other people. You know what I'm saying? Other people tell me don't stop. So I feel like I have a passion for it internally, but then when other people give me that influence to like, yo, I love what you did, do it again. Like I need more music from you, you know what I'm saying? So that's something where I'm very thankful for my team. You know what I'm saying? Cool Lad Cam, his brother Otto Tripp, Young Don, Chucky. We're a small group of talented artists, and I don't big up other artists like that because I believe in everybody, you know what I'm saying? But artists aren't, they're not that talented. Everyone's not that great of a rapper. But I will always encourage everybody to keep doing their thing, because you can, be a great rapper. People are better than me all the time. I'll be more than happy to say it. But it's a situation where we have to do this. You know what I'm saying? By the time I'm 27, I'm 25. I'm gonna give myself 2 years. By the time I'm 27, I need to be, going across the country in a van. You know what I'm saying? I need to be on stages in front of people. I need to be having these conversations with DJs because I know it. You know what I'm saying? I know the knowledge. I'm very versed in music. So now I just need to be in those situations and be around those people to make sure that that gets done.
That's what's up, man. This has been one of the funnest interviews, bro. Especially just the love of hip hop. It's the reason why I created the podcast, because sports I love, business I love it, because the business aspect, business